the cast breath before the Knicks expose them.
Did you feel vindicated?
The work isn't done.
You're right. You're right.
I picked the Cavs, and Nick knows I bet on the Cavs
fair.
to win the East. I mean, what's surprising about what's happened thus far? Yeah, it went to 7. It wasn't supposed to, but it went to 7 both times, and they won.
Yeah.
But have they won the East yet?
No.
Okay. They're going to win.
You're picking them. You're still picking them to win the East. They're going down in 5.
No.
And I'm from Cleveland. They're going down in 5 to
But then you get to say, "Oh, I'm happy if I'm wrong." Because
I'm not
going to get to do that.
I mean, that's the bylaws are the bylaws. But I'm just saying,
it's an outrage.
Yeah.
But it's all other than the length of the series. Everything that has happened with Cleveland is exactly what I told you guys was going to happen.
Oh, stop.
other than the length.
Stop it.
Why?
Because
Why?
you were out
The
here.
Big Four.
You were barely. You were this far from dumping the Cavs.
And
I wasn't.
No,
I wasn't.
He wasn't. I don't think he was going to
I'm
dump the
not-
Cavs, even though he was terrified of the Celtics when Tatum came back. He kept reminding us he made his pick.
I did make my
Before
pick.
Tatum
That's
came
fine.
back.
But you can't. But it did not. Game 6 did not go according to plan, and
Game 5 did.
the concerns about Harden rearing their head, even in a 30-point win in Game 7, didn't go according to plan. They are in the conference finals. None of the rest of us had them in the conference finals. Right. You deserve credit for that, but you can't say this is. You saw 7 against the Raptors and then 7 against the Pistons.
I said it was a few extra games to get to the place that I said we were going to get to, which was the Cavs in the Eastern Conference Finals. And I said, when you guys were making it all narrative-based about James Harden. James Harden.
Yeah.
James Harden was just one of 4, Brew.
No,
Big 4.
Fortunately, he was.
Okay, but let's take a look. The Cavs are a team of depth. They got a lot of talent. These are their leading scorers in their wins.
Sam Merrill and Max Strus on your Big 4 now?
Because you never know on a given night who's going to come through for the Cavs. Common theme, though, James Harden in 3 of the 4 wins is going to be in the top 2. Donovan Mitchell is going to be their leading scorer in 3 of 4. And as I told you, because they were load managing Donovan a bit, because Jared Allen had the knee issue, they're getting better as they go. Let's look at the Big 4 in games all 4 of them played. Regular season, that's what they average. Toronto, that's what they average. Detroit, that's what they average. Toronto and Detroit, Brew, good defensive teams. They are getting better the more they play together. They're getting stronger right before your eyes. Evan Mobley, gelling. I told you about Game 5 Harden. Game 7 Jared Allen, it's a thing. James Harden feeding the bigs. The Knicks are in trouble.
So that's the question.
You guys are crazy. They are the more talented
I'm happy
team.
for you.
Why are they?
I'm happy. I'm so happy for you. I'm gonna let you push the button.
I have to push.
Familiar with the button?
I watched the show. I'm familiar with the button. I don't know what's going to happen, but it doesn't matter. Cavs in 6.
I am shocked that you are so confident. Look, you deserve to gloat. You got the right to gloat right now. But you think that, what makes you think they're going to beat the Knicks? Because both teams are very talented.
Why are they the more talented?
I mean, I guess you can argue. I mean, I think they're close because the Cavs do have a lot of talent. They do have depth. To me, the difference is going to be their defense is not that strong, which was fine against Detroit because you had one offensive threat to worry about. The Knicks, you're going to have 4, sometimes 5 guys you have to worry. You won't be able to double the number 1 guy, a la Cade Cunningham, against the Knicks and not get punished for it. So that's where I think the difference is going to be.
I mean, listen, I think that goes both ways.
The Knicks are a very good defensive team.
I understand, but I think that the Cavs are by far the toughest team that the Knicks have played thus far in the play. Which team went through a tougher path to get to where they are?
I think it's a push.
You do?
Yeah, I think Atlanta is a much tougher team than Toronto, and I think that Detroit's a tougher team than Philly, but we are and when that series started, we thought Philly all of a sudden was together and
I'd say
a real
Philly.
threat. And so I think that part's a push, but Donovan is better than Jalen Brunson. It's close, but I feel is better than Donovan, but you call that a wash.
Very close.
Cat's more talented than anyone else on the Cavs. And
he's more talented, but I do think that Cleveland's bigs will match up well with him. Mobley is a defensive player of the year, and Allen is a great rim protector. In terms of the bigs that he will have to face defensively, this is his toughest matchup of the playoffs by a long shot.
No question. And which then is where it gets a little more precarious for you, because now we get to OG Anunoby off the hamstring, who is playing the best ball of his life. Mikal Bridges, who's, after a very rough start to the playoffs, the first few games, started playing really well. And now we're to the James Harden of it all. And I also think Josh Hart's better than Max Strus or whomever we want to call their fifth best player, if it's one of their bench guys, Schroeder or Sam Merrill. I don't think the Cavs are more talented than the Knicks. I think the Knicks are as talented as any team in the Eastern Conference, and arguably the most talented.
Yeah.
I think the talent is very close, and I think the Cavs are getting better. I do think the Cavs went through the tougher path. I think it's a pretty good matchup with the Cavs' defensive bigs against Towns. I agree that Donovan and Brunson are a wash.
But it's got to.
I'm shocked that the Cavs are
the
Cavs are a 2-1 underdog in this series.
Because the Cavs just went to back-to-back 7-game series, and you can your point that the paths were close or the talent's close. What's not close is how they have performed this postseason. The Knicks, they've been better. They've been historically great. You showed us the graphics. Yeah. The best margin of victory after 10 playoff games of any team ever. Meanwhile, the Cavs are trying to do something only the 2008 Celtics did, which is to have back-to-back 7-game series in rounds 1 and 2 and then make the finals. Usually when you have those arduous first 2 rounds, you run out of gas in the conference final.
Well, listen, I don't want to overreact, but this was probably one of the most important moments of Donovan Mitchell's career to this point. He had not played well in games 5 and 6. He had only had 8 total assists over the previous 3 games in this series, and you can tell he came out in this game looking to create. He had 3 assists on the first 4 possessions of the game, Greeny, playing through the big men. By the end of the game, he had 8 assists, and they were 8 of 8 off of his passes. He had 26 points. It was an excellent scoring game for him, but Donovan Mitchell set the tone as a playmaker in this game, and was able to crack the Detroit defense.
It reminds me of that line from Ace Ventura. I have exorcised the demons. This house is clear. I'm going to tell you guys, I've watched Donovan Mitchell since he was a freshman at Louisville when he was more of a slasher. Watching him be aggressive and get his other teammates involved in the game set the tone for this team defensively. So I'm happy to see him get over the hump. Secondly, I have to say this. You might not see it in the box score from James Harden, but he was plus 31 last night. He was tied for first with plus 31. That is the reason why you got him in that Darius Garland trade. Defensively, he was able to switch. He was able to body up a lot of the bigs. And I think he still was a playmaker. And the duality of the playmaking between Donovan Mitchell and James Harden made this team offensively more diverse.
So for every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. The Cavaliers are elated, and they're on their way here to New York. But here's what we have now. We got 4 teams left. Let's take a look at where we stand at DraftKings Sportsbook. The New York Knicks and Cleveland Cavaliers, this is $820. The Knicks are minus 265 to win this series. As you can see, it's by a slim margin, but it is an actually greater favorite than OKC is to beat San Antonio. They're minus 260. The Knicks are minus 265 to beat the Cavaliers. That series opens tomorrow night at the Garden. You are my Knicks expert. Talk to me about that matchup. Knicks, Cavaliers, what did we see this season, and what do we expect starting tomorrow night?
Well, the Knicks led the series 2-1 this season. Now, the matchup in February was sort of a turning point, if you will, for the Knicks season. It prompted some team meetings and all that good stuff. But I think the thing, Greeny, that's sneaky when you look at this one is I don't think these teams has faced this current version either way, whether you talk about James Harden and Max Strus on the Cleveland side of the house or the offense that the Knicks are currently running. And so I think it's going to look a little different than what we saw during the regular season. I will say this. Immediately, I think about Karl-Anthony Towns as a hub and likely drawing Evan Mobley out of the paint, assuming that he'll have that assignment. The Knicks' sort of wrinkle in this is that they can go double bigs to match up with Cleveland and put Robinson and Towns on the floor. And of those 4 guys, Robinson has been the most physical when I think about bigs that make an impact on the game.
First blush, Knicks and Cavs. Wendy, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I agree with Monica. The regular season is irrelevant. I don't care about it. They only played one game with Harden, and the way the Knicks are playing offense, completely different style. The Cavs will have almost no time to prepare for it. In this series against Detroit, the Cavs put Evan Mobley on Asar Thompson. He never left the paint. He let Asar Thompson go wherever he wanted on offense. He stayed as a rim protector. That won't be the case if they put him on Karl Towns. He will have to go out there and defend Towns at the high post. The other thing is, couple of years ago, 3 years ago, these teams played in the playoffs, and Mitchell Robinson absolutely annihilated. Jared Allen made a reference after this, sort of infamous in Cleveland, that he thought the lights were too bright for him. Robinson crushed him, physicality around the rim. Jared Allen has come back and completely changed the reputation around him in the playoffs. He has had 2 brilliant Game 7s for the Cavs in this postseason, including a playoff career high 23 yesterday. This will often also come down to how the Allen-Robinson matchup unfolds.
I'm going to go Knicks in 5. And I know that may sound absurd to say, but when you think
I don't think it sounds absurd.
When you think about the way Cavs had the matchup against Detroit, you saw everything load up towards Cade Cunningham all the time. They tried to move Cade Cunningham off the ball a little bit and actually worked a little bit to their favor. Now going against this iteration of this Knicks team, when Karl-Anthony Towns can spread Evan Mobley out, James Harden and Donovan Mitchell guarding off the ball is very different than them guarding on the ball. Don't forget, James Harden was brought there in exchange for Darius Garland to defend against bigger guards on the ball. Off the ball, sometimes they get caught asleep, and that duality of moving without the ball is where the Knicks have a huge advantage.
I think it's important to point out about 4 or 5 months ago, James Dolan went on the radio on January 6th and said, we have to make it to the NBA Finals this year. A month later, the Cleveland Cavaliers trade for James Harden, an all-in move. So you have these two teams that have had a desperate mandate, either by action or by, verbal declaration from owner that you have to at least get here. So in essence, these are the two teams that should be in the Eastern Conference Finals.
They couldn't have gotten here more different ways.
Yeah.
The Cavaliers had to get there scratching and clawing through a Game 7, and the Knicks have been sitting since last Sunday.
Similarly to what we saw last round, though, Greeny, the schedule does no one any favors in this one either. And the Knicks are a team that obviously have had an abundance of time to scout, rest, add another layer, if you will, to that offense. So we'll see what the Cavs look like rolling into the guard.
And I was reading in the notes yesterday, OG Anunoby is practicing fully, right? That's obviously the most important benefit they get from this rest.
He's going to be huge. Like, I already imagine they will deploy Bridges and Anunoby between Mitchell and Harden, at least for that initial assignment.
And Green, that the Cavs are the only team in the NBA that are in the second apron right now, so they are all in as well.
Relied on Cade too much.
Yeah, they don't got nobody else. They can't nobody else score. He didn't score. They got smoked.
That nigga's still human, bro. That's why I was saying, like, at some point, he gonna have to be a human, bro. He can't go out and get 40 every night. You see when James having a fucked up game, Donovan come save the day. Like,
Cause
niggas have off nights, bro.
He was trying. Because he was getting 40s.
Yeah. Shit. And even though they're quality players, they're not really technically others, but the others for Cleveland showed up. You had Sam Merrill give you big games. You had Max Strus give you big games. Detroit had sometimes like Dennis Jenkins give him a couple, but it was heavily relied upon.
Jenkins give you 17. That's supposed to be a plus. That's a Sam Merrill 17. Bro.
He give us 17, we should win.
Yeah.
Yeah, and when he started the game, hit both those shots, I was like, yeah, if he the only one getting going, it's going to be a long night.
He the only one can get to the basket.
Yes.
Nobody else can get to the basket besides Cade. Nobody else can make a play. Like, Tobias Harris is a catch-and-shoot guy, post player, getting that mid-range and score a bucket. Everybody else, they can't create anything. Like, Duncan Robinson cannot create a damn thing.
Yeah.
And the Thompson twins shoot so bad that even what he could do, that he's good at attacking the rim and getting downhill, he can't because they're literally sitting in the paint waiting for him to be there.
Yeah.
So all his shots is wide open. If he can get to a 35% three-point shooter where he can make 2 a game, and you got to kind of guard him a little bit, bro, he'd be cold. He's just too athletic. He'd be cold. But I think Detroit fucked up when they stopped playing Wu. Because he bring a defensive intensity, but he can also make a shot.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
They stopped playing him. They didn't give Ron Holland a chance.
Yeah.
Who's another guy who plays hard, defense and intensity. Possibly make a shot.
Yeah, he can get to the rim, too.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Definitely get to the rim.
He definitely gets
To your
the rim.
point, him and Wu can get to the rim.
They could get to the rim. They could do a couple of things. They might hit a 3. They just didn't give him a chance, and I think that was just like a bad play going down the stretch.
Well said. Well, Detroit had a hell of a year, man. A lot of people thought they overachieved. Number 1 in the East, took a leap from last year, second round exit.
Good job, Cade.
Shout out to Detroit, man. I know things ended pretty bad, but I had a hell of a season, nothing to be upset about. Very interested to see what they do in the offseason. But going forward now, we got the Eastern Conference Finals, Cavs and Knicks. We'll talk about it a little bit more tomorrow. But how y'all feeling right now, man? Can the Cavs beat the Knicks? Is it a possibility? Strong possibility or low possibility?
It's a possibility.
Okay.
The Knicks obviously got the better team. To me, they got the upper hand. But I feel like if Donovan Mitchell do what he's supposed to do, he can make it at least a 6, bro.
They need what's your boy? Schroeder. They need Schroeder this series bad.
I like that.
They need him bad, bro.
They don't got nobody that can guard Jalen Brunson.
Yeah.
This shit over with. And I want James Harden to get to the finals. Definitely. But ain't nobody on that team guard Jalen Brunson. They don't have nobody.
Think they'll play Keon Ellis?
Man, it don't matter. They can go get Perry Ellis. It don't matter who the hell.
Damn, shout out to Perry Ellis.
Shit, Dale Ellis. This shit over. They ain't got nobody to guard him. Nobody. Donovan Mitchell can't guard him. They gonna put Matt Strus on him? No way.
Christmas.
They gonna put Dean Wade? No way.
Yeah, because they got bodies to throw at Donovan.
It's a different.
Yeah, that's what I'm scared about
That's
too.
the difference. I don't know, bro. I think it'll be a 6-game series.
Jalen Brunson a different animal than Cade Cunningham because he got other weapons. Like when he get in that pick and roll with Cat, he can pass it back to Cat. Cat gonna hit a 3
for sure.
Mitchell gonna roll for the lob. Like they got different threats. And that motherfucker is ran to perfection for him. Like it's gonna be a different animal, man.
Evan Mobley gonna have to get in his bag.
Yeah, I was going to say that's the thing about the Cavs. For them to win this series, everybody's going to have to play very well just about damn near every game. They ain't going to have much room for error at all.